Hello students, you are watching video on Study of Science subject grade 10 SEE. This video series will help you to understand chapters of physics, chemistry, biology, astronomy and geology. This video deals with geology part chapter history of the earth. History means description of the events occurred in the past. So we are going to study about the events took place on the earth from its beginning to the present time. Here, chapter is divided into three broad parts. These are origin of the earth, how earth started, geological time scale. In geological time scale, we are going to study about evolution of life on the earth's surface and fossils. These are the three main parts of the chapter. Here you can see origin of the earth, how earth started, or the solar system on the whole. Geological time scale. In geological time scale, evolution of life is the main part, and here you will study about eons, eras, periods, epochs also. These are time blocks within geological time scale. Okay, and the fossils. In fossils, we are going to study about these topics. Now we see how earth started, what changes happened on the earth after its formation. How do we know about this? By fossils, with the help of fossils. So dead remainings of plants and animals help us to know about the events happened in the past, and how changes occurred from beginning to the present time can be understood from geological time scale. This video part 1 is going to give you idea about origin of the earth. So actually it is origin of the solar system, because earth is the member of solar system. So scholars and the scientists have put forth hypothesis to explain origin of solar system. Here hypothesis is the idea or the theory which has not been proved experimentally. So it is based on assumptions and the facts observed around us. So hypothesis is an idea which is not proved experimentally. This idea is based on assumptions or estimations or the things happening, the phenomenon happening around us. Thus, being hypotheses, these ideas were criticized and denied by many in the past. But in the course of development in scientific study, the new ideas were more convincing, okay, to understand and accept the fact of formation of the solar system and the earth. Now we will study hypothesis given to explain origin of solar system or the earth. Mainly we are going to study about three hypotheses here. The first one is given by Jules Buffon. He was a French scientist and it was given in the year 1749. 1749, and it is also called old planetesimal hypothesis. The second one is given by Immanuel Kant. He was a German scientist and it was given in the year 1755 AD. Okay, and it is also called Nebular Hypothesis, and later this hypothesis was improved by Laplace in 1796, and Laplace was a French scientist. And the third one is, it is given by Sir James Jeans and Harold Jeffrey, and they were British scientists, and it was given in 1917 AD, 1917 AD. Okay, and this is also called Tidal Hypothesis. So we are going to study about three hypotheses in this part, in the part of origin of the earth. Now you see origin of the earth, old planetesimal hypothesis given by Jules Buffon. According to this hypothesis, there was a huge mass of gases, okay, in the hot state, and this was rotating around slowly, okay, and it was hit by a wandering comet. There was a comet moving around in the space, and this comet hit this huge ball of gas, okay, and a large amount of matter was thrown away when the comet hit this, or the comet collided with this huge mass of the gas. So the matters which were thrown away got cooled in course of time, okay, cool down, and in the process of cooling down, planets of different sizes were made, and these planets started revolving around this huge mass in the center, a big ball of gases, and this big ball of gases in the center formed sun. Actually this is sun, and these bodies which were revolving around the center mass are planets. So this is about old planetesimal hypothesis. This is very simple. There was a huge mass of gases in the space, and this was hit by a wandering comet, moving around comet, and large amount of mass was thrown away into the space, and this thrown away matter got cooled and formed planets of different sizes. Okay, this is old planetesimal hypothesis. Here planetesimal means the planets of smaller sizes. Okay, small planets are called planetesimals. Right. Now the second hypothesis is nebular hypothesis. Nebular hypothesis is given by Immanuel Kant, no, and later it was improved by Laplace. So nebular hypothesis explains the origin of the Earth in this way, or the solar system. So there was a large mass of gases called nebula. Okay, cloud of gases in the hot state is called nebula. So this huge mass of gases was rotating around slowly in the beginning. It was in the hot state, and in course of time, okay, after a long time, this got cooled because of rotating around slowly due to radiation process. Okay, radiation process means giving away heat. Okay, so as this got cooled, it got smaller. When it got smaller, it started spinning around faster. So in this process, when it was rotating faster, matter, certain small amount of matter got gathered in the equatorial part of this huge cloud. Okay, in the middle part, gaseous matters got collected in the equatorial part in the middle because of centrifugal force actually. Okay, and the matter which got collected in the outer part of equatorial region in the middle part got thrown away. It was thrown away due to centrifugal force while rotating. So this thrown away matter got collected at one point and cooled down to form the planet. Okay, so this way the first planet was made, and this process was repeated many times to form other planets. Right, so these planets continued to revolve around the center mass. The center mass formed sun, and the bodies which was revolving around the center mass were planets. So this is nebular hypothesis. So nebular hypothesis says there was a huge mass of gases called nebula. Nebula got cooled and rotated faster. In that process, a certain amount of mass got gathered in the equatorial region in this way, and the matter in the equatorial region which was gathered got thrown away because it was spinning faster. Okay, and this thrown away matter cooled down to form the planet, and this process was repeated many times to form the planets of solar system. Okay, so this is nebular hypothesis. And the third one is tidal hypothesis. So tidal hypothesis given by James Jeans and Harold Jeffrey. Harold Jeffrey. Okay, Jeans and Jeffrey hypothesis, tidal hypothesis. According to this hypothesis, there was a huge mass of cloud gases. Okay, and this was not actually hit by comet. Okay, it is unlike old planetesimal hypothesis. In this case, this huge mass of gases was not hit by the comet. Okay, there was no collision between these two. But in this case, this comet or the wandering star or the comet passed by very closely to this gaseous mass. Very closely to this gaseous mass. So when it happened, the gravitational force of this moving comet, pulled out a large amount of gaseous material. Pulled out large amount of gaseous material from this huge mass. Okay, so what happened is a long filament was made because it was pulled out, and in this filament the outer part escaped into the space, disappeared into the space, and this back part got pulled back towards the center mass. Okay, and there remained only middle part in the space, and this middle part of the cloud cooled down in the course of time. and in the process of cooling down it got fragmented, means broken down into smaller pieces, planetesimals, and these smaller pieces formed planets of different sizes. Okay, and these planets started revolving around the center mass of cloud. Okay, yes, so this is tidal hypothesis. So tidal hypothesis says there was a huge mass of gases, okay, which was a stationary body not moving, and a comet, a wandering comet or the moving comet or the star passed by very closely to this gaseous mass, and when it happened the gravitational force of comet pulled a large amount of gaseous material into the space, and this gaseous material which was pulled out got cooled down, and in the process of cooling down it got broken into smaller pieces. In this way these smaller pieces formed planets, and these planets started revolving around this center mass. Center mass was the sun, and the bodies which was revolving around, these are planets. Okay, so this is tidal hypothesis. So with this we finish the first part, origin of the earth. Now we are going to do geological time scale and fossils in the later parts. Now you can see the notes on origin of the earth, hypothesis about the formation of the earth and the solar system, old planetesimal hypothesis. George Buffon put forth old planetesimal hypothesis in 1749 AD. This hypothesis states that the sun and a wandering comet collided together. As a result, a very large amount of gaseous matter was thrown out of the sun. These hot matters cooled and the earth with other planets were formed. The remaining mass was the sun. Nebular hypothesis number 2. Nebular hypothesis. Immanuel Kant proposed nebular hypothesis about the origin of the solar system in 1755 AD, and it was improved by Laplace in 1796 AD. According to this hypothesis, there was a large whirling cloud, rotating cloud of the hot gases, nebula, and dust. When the cloud cooled and grew smaller, it began to spin faster. As the surface of the cloud cooled by radiation, a ring of matter was formed at the equatorial region of it. The ring was escaped out and the first planet was formed. The process was repeated to form the planets, and the remaining mass was the sun. So you can write it this way. Okay, this is the note, and the third one is tidal hypothesis. Sir Jeans and Jeffrey proposed the tidal hypothesis in 1917 AD. According to it, a big star or the comet orbiting in the space came close to the sun. Here you can write comet, okay, because it is comet in your book. Due to its great gravitational attraction, it pulled out a part of the sun in the form of tide and got separated. This separated mass fragmented in the course of cooling, and the planets and the satellites were formed. So this is tidal hypothesis. With this we finish this part. We are going to do geological time scale and fossils in the later part.